Hi, welcome. Today's video is going to be a two-part video. The first part is going to be a tutorial on how to make this altered composition notebook, and the second part is going to be a giveaway. Hi, welcome. I'm so glad you're here, whether you're new or you like my channel and watch all the time. The other day I came across a composition notebook that I had made years ago. You can tell when I was probably pretty heavily scrapbooking, and I showed it on one of the lives, and I was just thinking I never did a tutorial for it, so I'm going to do that today. So if you're following along with me, you're going to need a few materials. First, a composition notebook, some glue, papers, scissors or a ruler, ephemera, embellishments, fabric, a laminator or clear packing tape, which is what I will be using in this video, a binder clip, and some ribbon or twine. So if we haven't met, I'm Ingrid, and I am a paper hoarder. So if you are in the same boat with me, drop me down a little heart emoji down below. But I decided to go in my stash and use some of the paper that I've been holding for a long time, and we are going to use this to decorate. I'm going to show you two different adhesives. On the front, I'm using this score tape, which is a heavy-duty double-sided tape, which I will have listed beneath the video in the description box in my Amazon storefront. And then on the back, I'm going to use my art glitter glue, which I also have listed in case you don't know what it is and you want to get the name or want to order some. So if you haven't watched my adhesive video before, I would definitely suggest that you do so. I give some tips on how I glue and the importance of burnishing down your paper. When I am doing this method, I like to overhang the edge of the paper just a little bit, and that gives me a little wiggle room so that I can cut around the edge just in case the notebook isn't exactly 90 degrees, which you can see right there. Something I like to do is to go ahead and cut a 90-degree angle at the corner and then go back and round it out. But you can do it the other way and just follow it across. I just feel like this gives it a more clean line. When it comes to your spine, you have a lot of options. I'm going to grab this, I think it's drywall tape, and I'm going to go ahead and wrap the edge with it. You could also leave the black, which if you looked at my example, that's the way that I did it, but I wanted to make this one a little more special, so I'm going to wrap it in this tape, and then after I do that, I decide that I want to add some fabric. So to be honest, unless you care about the black showing through, you can leave this step out. I do think that with the edges distressed here, it does give it a little more interest and, you know, that vintage look that we love. I'm adding an insert here, so I'm going to take my composition notebook and I am going to measure both the width and the length, which in this book is 9 3/4 by 7 1/4. And since everyone doesn't have a laminator, I wanted to show this using some clear packing tape. And I pulled out another paper pad that I think coordinates really nice. I love the yellow with the pinks and the blues, and so I went with this heart pattern. I'm going to measure on the back side my 9 3/4 by 7 1/4 and cut it out. And wish me luck because I'm using this paper cutter, and it actually went pretty well. Usually I cut very wonky, and I'm wondering, does anybody else have this problem, or can I just not use it? Do I need to take a course on how to cut paper using a paper cutter? Since I want to mimic a lamination, I'm going to extend my tape past the edges so that the tape adheres to itself and creates a border around the paper. Being that I did that, I needed something to use underneath my surface so that I can easily remove the tape off of it. And I'm using the silicone mat. You can also use like a glass table or anything else that your tape will come up off of easily. And just like with any other adhesive, make sure that you're burnishing the tape really well. You can actually see the difference. If you look at it in the light, you can see where there's any bubbles. So the more work you do now, the better it'll be in the long run. Another item that you don't need, but it definitely makes your life easier, are glue scissors. And so there's specific scissors for cutting like duct tape or any other kind of tape. And I think it's something about the stainless that the tape does not adhere to the scissors, and it's kind of a lifesaver. Plus, you don't gunk up your good scissors. Also, I don't know if you caught that, but if you don't adhere the tape down very well, you still have a little bit of wiggle room like I had there where you can still remove it. So don't be scared if you have a little bubble because I was able to get mine out. Just make sure you're not pressing down all the way. I was trying to decide if I wanted a page to be over the divider or not, and here's where I'm going to give you a tip. Feel free to add as many dividers as you want. The more the merrier. And like I have in the example, you can even add a tab to it if you want to split the book up in different tabs. And so it would be sticking over. Now, that might bother some of you because you want it to be flush. And so feel free to do it however you want. I'm going to actually add the divider like a tip in. So I'm using masking tape on both sides to fix it in, making sure to really burnish the tape. And I'm just using another tape roll there just to hold my paper down so that it doesn't move on me. When I alter composition notebooks, I love to add pockets. Sometimes I don't use them and they're more decorative, but it is a great place to put any sticky notes or any other notes that you are wanting to keep together or that you need to add, especially if you're using this like a planner. You can always take and put the notes in there and then add it when you get a chance to sit down. So I'm going to go ahead and cover the inside of the composition notebook, and pretty much in a similar fashion of what I did for the covers. The inside is just a little bit more cumbersome to cut around, but I did it in the same way. And I'm trying to figure out some coordinating patterns. I really hate when I do this on camera because I pulled out two colors. And sometimes when I look back on camera, I think, oh no, the other one looked better. But actually, as I'm looking at this now, I think that I went with the right choice, which is the black and white. Do you agree with me, or would you have picked the pink? Pink is kind of my kryptonite, so that's usually what I lean towards. But I love the black and white with the florals and then with the yellow to the right of it. I'm not sure if I have a big enough circle punch to make this punch, but I wanted to show you that you really don't need a punch. I'm just using the inside of the tape roll, and I'm making a less than half, I would say like 1/4 of the inside, and I'm just tracing it and then cutting around it, and it looks just as good as a punch. And you guys already know me that I don't really measure, but if that is something that is going to keep you up at night, then feel free to mark your page in half and then line up your tape roll or whatever you're using to make your circle or your half circle, and line that up to the middle. And then that way you'll have a perfect middle punch. First of all, how adorable is this yellow fabric? I only have a little bit left in my remnants that I've been holding on to. Not hoarding, just holding on to, loving on it. And I decided to put that on the edge of my spine. And I left this weird part of the video in because I wanted to show you that sometimes it takes me a long time to do things. So, for example, this was not lining up the way that I wanted it with the edges. And so it took me a very long time. This is already sped up by like 5 to try to figure out how I could make the edge less crooked. And so I end up just using a ruler to make a straight line and then cutting it out. And I honestly don't even think it needed that. But at that moment, I felt like it needed to be straight. Is that something that you can relate with? When I was putting down the fabric, I wanted to make sure that you could still see that tape underneath since I had made it a little distressed. And so I'm just pulling the fabric before the glue has a chance to dry, and that way you can still see it from underneath. Now, you guys know that probably my favorite thing to do is the decorating part. And so I'm just picking some pieces that I have near me on my desk. And I pulled out some of these snapshots from Tim Holtz, which I love. And I didn't want it to be a person since this was going to be a giveaway. So I went with this charming vintage house instead. To add a little whimsy and coordinate with the inside cover, I decided to add just a little touch of this floral print. And when you do this, you want to make sure that you're using a small print. I think that it looks just better composition-wise. Another thing that I love to do is I love when I have an old book page and it just has like a single row of writing. In this case, it's the title of the chapter. And so I'm going to fidget with the photo so that that shows through. And there's just something about that old book page with just the one line of writing that is so sweet to me. Now, in the grand scheme of things, maybe it doesn't matter, but that's how my brain works when I am designing something. I added a rusty paper clip, which I absolutely love, and I'm going to have a video showing you how to make rust coming up soon. And then I added some vintage tape that I made. And if you want to see the process on this, leave me a comment down below and I can do a video about that as well. And I'm just going to add a couple more finishing touches to the cover. I love these labels, which give a utilitarian style element to a very sweet page. And I think that that really balances out a page and doesn't give it too girliness, if that makes sense. I am also going to add some black electrical tape. I love using electrical tape. I had completely forgotten about it until I saw it in my drawer, but the matteness of it is just great, and I think that it layers really well under the label. It was at that moment that I remembered that I did not finish covering the inside cover, and so I am going to use the remnants of the 12 by 12 papers that I have used on the inside cover as well as the outside covers, and this gave the back cover just more of a cohesiveness, and it coordinated so well with the rest of the book. For the binding, I decided to use one of these bull clips. And then I'm just going to tie some of my favorite black and white baker's twine to the edge and then wrap it around. So here is my finished project. I love how it came out. Super cute. A little pocket right here. And an idea that I had for this was to use this with the dry erase marker. So that's why I left this one blank. And then here's my end. And it can still get lots more of embellishment in the pages and just chunked up. And honestly, I could very well see this being a nice alligator, like full, like really chunky full of stuff. And the good news is that I decided to do this as a giveaway. So one lucky recipient is going to get this to go to their home as its forever home. And I hope that it's you. And the rules are going to be super easy. All you have to do is be following my channel here, and extra kudos points if you click the little bell to get notified anytime that I have a new video come out. That is not, you don't have to do that, but that's a bonus, and I'll love you if you did. Then number 2 is you have to leave a comment down below, and I want you to tell me one thing that you love about yourself. It could be anything. It could be that you have brown eyes, or that you have tan skin, or whatever you want it to be. Just leave me one comment down below. Let me know something that you love about yourself. And then for an extra way to enter, it will be for you to share this video on your Instagram and make sure that you tag me so that I can see it and then I can reshare it. And that's it. That's all you need to do. And I hope that you're the winner. And I can't wait to see you guys again soon for our next project together. Bye.